Hi, I'm Abishek from Kinexis, and today I'm going to present our IOT solution for remote rehabilitation. I'd like to begin with a personal story. A few years back, a close relative of mine went through a surgery and came back home, and I saw him, he was not doing his rehab exercises properly. When I asked him why he wasn't doing those exercises, he told me that he has forgotten most of the exercises that was taught to him at the clinic, and he's also lost the exercise booklet. And a few days later, I even saw him dropping on clinical visits. And asked him why, because he said, like, I don't feel pain anymore, so I don't feel like going to the physiotherapist for my rehab. And it kind of frustrated me because it was my own father, and I wanted him to get better, but that didn't happen. So this triggered me to start Kinexis. Coming to the problem of rehabilitation, rehabilitation is typically done to enable faster recovery. Oops. Uh, yeah, to enable faster recovery, to regain mobility, to promote recovery. And there are many joints in the human body for which rehabilitation and orthopedic surgeries are done. We are primarily focused on knee joint because that's the largest market. And within the knee joint, there are two types of surgery. One is the total knee replacement, which is typically done for patients above 50 years of age. And second is the ligament tear surgery, which is typically done in sports people. Coming to the problem of the market itself, we can see that the knee surgery market has been growing at a very healthy rate and it's projected to grow at even a more healthier rate. The total market is about $34 billion. But the one that we're targeting, which is the knee surgery, is about 7 billion. If we target the technologies within it, it would be about 2.8 billion. If we obtain 5% of this market, we'll be a $140 million company, which we plan to become in the next 5 years. So what's the problem with rehab? The problem with rehab is that after a surgery, there is a 3 month period during which the patient needs to be continuously monitored. There must be at-home exercise compliance, as well as there must be evidence-recommended physiotherapy that must be delivered at least twice a week to the patient. What actually happens is that patients often do exercises poorly or incorrectly, which leads to pain and injury. There is very poor rehab compliance, as well as there's kind of lack of motivation for the patients to actually go and visit the physiotherapist. So this is the total problem structure that we have with rehab. Yep. Current state of the art, so this is the kind of booklets that the physiotherapists use and give to the patients, which really doesn't work, and patients really don't comply. What we have basically is a wearable sensor kit that we give to the patients along with a mobile application which they can use to learn how to do those exercises, track their progress, as well as get feedback from the physiotherapist. And we have a platform, our dashboard for the physiotherapists themselves to actually prescribe the exercises to the patients remotely. So how that works is basically, if I'm the patient, I'd basically use this platform for data collection, and all these parameters would be sent over wirelessly to my physiotherapist, who would get like an analysis report, which will contain all the compliance data, how many exercises did I do, what's my pain like this week, what should be done in the next physiotherapist session, and all this can be fed back to the patient immediately via our remote platform. So we've also doing some clinical trials. This is a 72-year-old lady whom I'm teaching how to use our solutions at one of the rehab centers in Singapore, and the results are pretty exciting. So the benefits that we see in this through this solution is basically for the patients, they reduce the number of clinical visits. They save a lot of cost and time because they don't have to go to the clinic, and also they do rehab at the comfort of the home. For the clinicians themselves, it's reduced manpower pressure. They can see more patients, as well as there's productivity and profitability increase. Overall, we make rehab evidence-based because they're looking at data. You're not asking the patients, did you do the exercise or not? You're actually looking at the data itself and making decisions based on it. So the quality of care really improves, the functional outcomes improves, and the patient is much more engaged about his own rehab progress. The next thing that we have is basically revenue model. So right now, the patients that are paying about $1,000 and spending about 24 hours per month after surgery for rehab. We are actually reducing it by about 50%. So with our solution, the patient now can only spend about $480 and 16 hours. So that's a 50% cost reduction and 33% time reduction. And so that's the impact that we are making. The traction that we've received, we've signed some of our first customers and received LOIs from them. We have also signed NDAs and LOIs with some of the local hospitals through which we are conducting our pilot studies. And we've received an angel round of funding through which we are building our product and platforms.